The current set of select graphs examines distinctions and ratings crossed by very general satisfaction, from B1, or the least satisfied of students, to B5, or the most satisfied of students. The majority of measures in the survey are correlated linearly with overall satisfaction. Unless stated otherwise, all distinctions or associations mentioned in this presentation are statistically significant. A common finding across student surveys conducted by LMI, those in the lower high school grades are more likely to report higher overall satisfaction with their school. Those least satisfied and those most satisfied are more likely to identify their gender as male. As well, those least satisfied are more likely to identify their gender as one other than male or female, or that they prefer not to identify their gender at all. A typical finding across student surveys conducted by LMI, those lesser satisfied are more likely to identify as members of the LGBTQ2S+ community. Lesser satisfied students are also more likely to spend more time on homework during the school week. Time spent on social media is also associated with overall satisfaction, with greater satisfied respondents spending less time on social media during the school week. A common but not universal finding across schools that have conducted comprehensive student surveys with LMI, the incidence of receiving outside tutoring support is associated with lesser overall satisfaction with one's school. This should come as no surprise. Getting less sleep on school nights, in particular getting less than 6 hours of sleep on school nights, is meaningfully associated with students' general satisfaction with their schools. Moving on to the series of attitudinal agreement statements, greater satisfied students report greater agreement with the statement, "At least some of my teachers know who I am outside of the classroom," with a large drop-off in agreement from those least satisfied with their schools. Greater satisfied students are also more likely to agree with the statement, "I am comfortable being myself at school." Again, keeping an eye on the B1 category, or those least satisfied with their school, greater satisfied respondents report greater agreement with the statement, "I am enthusiastically involved in out-of-classroom activities." The same is true for the statement, "I am passionate about the study of at least one subject." Greater overall satisfaction with one's school is also positively associated with the statements, "I enjoy the social aspect of my dining experience at school." "I feel a strong sense of belonging at the school." "I feel capable of handling the day-to-day academic workload." "I feel emotionally safe while at school." "I feel encouraged to express my opinion." "I feel I have personal control over most of my successes and failures." "I feel respected and valued at school." "I feel that I gain meaningful positive value from being a member of the school community." "I feel that I make a meaningful positive contribution to the experience of others within the school community." "I feel treated as an individual with unique needs, interests, and talents." "I feel well supported at school as I strive to meet my potential," again with a steeper drop-off in the B1 category. "And I have at least one close friend at school," with a large drop-off from those students least satisfied with their schools. Although most students who filled out the survey agree that they have at least one close friend, clearly this remains a critical factor in students' school experiences. Greater satisfied students also report greater agreement with the statement, "My school experience has helped me learn to engage constructively with people holding different perspectives from my own." These students also report greater agreement with the statements, "The school deals well with issues of bullying on campus." "The school encourages a love of learning in me." And "There is at least one trusted adult I can talk to at school." Looking to the series of skills measures, we see some even stronger associations with overall satisfaction. Here, we see that greater satisfied respondents report much greater self-appraised preparedness for adapting to face new challenges. These students also report greater self-appraised preparedness for advocating for themselves. The same is true for the skill measure approaching life with intellectual curiosity, with a large drop-off for those in the B1 category. High school students who reported greater satisfaction with their schools also reported greater self-appraised preparedness for assuming a leadership role. The same is true for the measure conducting myself with confidence and coping with peer pressure, and handling stressful situations, interacting in a diverse environment, making choices that support my emotional well-being, organizing time effectively, setting high expectations for myself, thinking creatively. Look at the spread in ratings here. Thinking critically, working cooperatively in a group, and working independently. Unsurprisingly, those lesser satisfied with their respective schools also report in greater proportion having been personally affected by experiences of discrimination at school. Looking at the specific types of discrimination experience, we can see the same trend is true for discrimination based on race, ethnic origin, religion, gender identity, sexual orientation, learning differences, politics, and socioeconomic status. The most satisfied of students, or those in the B5 group on the right, report in lesser proportion attending a co-ed school. Instead, students in this group are more likely to attend a single-sex boys' school.